Hi, first graders. Today we are going to read the Geode called Fire at the Mill. You do not have a copy of this. This would have been in our next set of geodes. So what I'm going to do today is I'm going to try to show you all of the illustrations, but get pretty close to the words. That way, you guys can either point to the words and follow along with me. You could even put the sound on mute, and you guys could practice reading this story on your own. So here we go with Fire at the Mill, written by Maria Myers and illustrated by Laura Barella. Now your challenge, I'm going to give it to you now so that you guys can complete this by the end of the story. Your challenge is to either write down or think about the story elements. So who are the characters? What is the setting? What is the problem? And then what is the resolution? Remember, the resolution is how the problem is solved. So think about those as we get started, and at the end, see if you can name all of those story elements. Here we go. Fire at the mill. Based on the illustration, what do you think the problem is going to be? If the title is called Fire at the Mill, what do you think the problem might be? Let's see if you are right. Take a moment to notice over here. We have some different windmills, and it looks like the mill is positioned in a different way to show joy, sadness, a short rest, or a long rest. Let's see if we find any examples of that inside the story. Here we go. I wake to sails shifting in the wind. I chase Dad to the top of our mill. We feel the wind here each day. I see other windmills standing tall against the sky. Jan's mill tells the carpenter to come. Sven's mill is shifted to say they are glad his son Steph's wedding is today. So if you take a look back over here, let me show you the example of joy. This mill shows joy. You'll notice that it's pretty close to being pointed. It's a little bit tilted, but it's almost straight up and straight across. So let's take a look over here. You'll notice that the mill over here is also shifted to say that there is joy happening in their house. And it said in our writing, it said, his son Steph's wedding is today. So that is making him feel joy. This sawmill is our home. We tilt our sails to say, come in. Friends come in and out all day to pick up wood. I ask Sven about Steph and his bride. Take a moment to notice what they're using to tell us the different page numbers. And why do you think they're using that symbol? Sniff, sniff. What is that smell? Fire! Mom yells. The smoke is too thick. I can't see. It is hot on my skin, but Mom is here. Think about the story elements. Think about who the characters are, where the setting is, what the problem might be, and let's see if we can come up with a resolution. Oh no. Take a moment to just notice the illustration. Take a moment to notice what the people are doing. Dad yells, fire, to tell others. They must turn on their mills to blow away the sparks. They do not want their mills to catch fire too. I stare. The flames jump up the shaft. Everyone runs about trying to help. Think about how the people are feeling right now. Maybe an uncomfortable feeling. Friends make a line from the shore. They pass water to one another and toss it on the flames. I can only gaze at the fire in shock. We tilt our burnt sails to say, we are closed. Dad says, our mill is not lost. Our friends will help us rebuild. So how do you think that family is feeling right now? They had to tilt their burnt sails to show that they are closed. How do you think they feel about rebuilding the home that they live in? We get fresh planks from Kate's mill. Jan makes us some paint. Strong blades finish it off. We tilt the sails to say, come celebrate. So think about what happened. They have fresh planks, they have paint and strong blades. How did they get those new things for their mill? How did they get those new things? And what do you think they're celebrating? We decorate the sails with small flags. The whole town comes to share our joy. All right, so let's jump back to those story elements or that story map. Who are the characters? We may not know all of their names, but we can at least identify who they are in the story. What is the setting? So where is this story taking place? What is the problem in this story? And what is the resolution? How did the problem get solved? I want you to talk about that with a family member or write about it. Let's go ahead and read the More page. If you would like to read this on your own, you can pause your screen right here and you can practice reading by yourself. More. Hundreds of years ago in the Netherlands, windmills turned wet marshland into farmland. A windmill's moving sails powered water wheels. This machinery pumped water up and out of ditches into nearby rivers. Excuse me, I made a mistake. Let's jump back to that this machinery sentence. This machinery pumped water up and out of the land. The water then moved through a series of canals, or ditches, into nearby rivers. The water eventually made its way out to sea. The now dry fields are called polders. People build and farm on these polders. The Netherlands continues to use a water pumping system to keep its land dry. New technology relies more on electric than wind power, but many windmills still stand. In the village of Kinderdijk, 19 windmills built more than 250 years ago still work. If the power goes out at the nearby pumping station, the windmills can be used as a backup. Wow! So although this story is slightly fictional, there are these mills that actually exist in the Netherlands. How interesting and how fascinating. And also, friends, you'll notice that I made a couple of mistakes when I was reading on the More page. That is just a sign to everybody that we all make mistakes. But I'm not going to give up if I make a mistake or if I come across a word that I'm not familiar with. I'm going to keep going and believing in myself, which is what I did. And I hope that you guys can do the exact same thing. So if you guys are looking for another challenge, an extra bonus, what I would like you to do is start this story over. You can just replay it from the beginning, and I want you to see if you can find any words that have a long vowel and a silent E. A long vowel and a silent E. I actually see one in the title. Fire. And then that's a silent E. So we would make a line through that I because it says I, and we would cross out that silent E. I want you to go through the story and see how many words that you can find that have that long vowel sound and that silent E at the end. So I hope you enjoyed our story of Fire at the Mill. I hope you guys are continuing to read every day and to gain more knowledge. I miss you, and I will send some more stories soon. Bye.